Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. We have had this bit of a sell-off and we seem to be finding a little bit of support here, but will it hold? These are the questions we're going to be looking at shortly. First off, I'd like to say thank you everyone who subscribed. We reached 100 subs yesterday. It really means the world to us for basically showing your support to the channel, and the team really appreciates it. Want to say thank you for all the likes, all the subscriptions, and all the comments that everyone's been doing. It really does help us out, so please carry on. Okay, but let's get into the price action now. Basically, we can see here that we were looking at this in two ways, and I'm going to just remove this ABC now because so within this move here, if I jump back in here and we throw this bullish move on here, there you go. We had this first 5-wave move here, and we were looking for potential that we're going to be making a bigger 5-wave move to the upside here, though we didn't quite reach the zone we were looking at. We were looking at, get this up there, bring this down to these lows. We were looking for trying to cross above this 1372. Let me get it right on that low there. Yeah, 3072, 1, 2. This is the common travel area for wave 3. We didn't quite reach there. We had this 5-wave move up in here, and we were looking for this target area in this box, but this wave here didn't quite get there either. So what we were looking at is this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up in a fifth. But this is either truncated or potentially there's something else going on here. We're going to discuss this now. So within this move, we can see we didn't reach that 1.618. However, we have also now got some sort of overlapping structure here. It could be that this is actually just extending to the downside still, and it needs a little bit more to go. But what we could also have here is, if we look at this move like this, we could have this as a 1, 2, a 3 into this high. Because we can see here we have this drop. We have this drop here, and then we have another drop like this. So it's possible we could end up with a zigzag formation in here, which has crossed this wave 1 high. So I've drawn this trend line on here off of these lows just out of looking at the potential of a diagonal shape here. It's not confirmed yet, and we'll have to see whether we can hold the support zone here, that's 1279 area, or whether we're going to blast through this zone. If we move down below this 1240 area, we can eliminate the idea of this diagonal. But until we do, it is possible we could have this as a diagonal. And then what this would effectively form is either a wave A or wave 1. So if we were looking at this as a wave 1, then we would be looking at this all in this move here as a 1. We'd be looking for a 2, a 3, 4, and a 5 to the upside. And basically what this would be is, if I just remove this out of the equation for a second, there we go. So what we would be looking for then is confirmation of this. And if this were to play out, we obviously don't have the correct sub waves here, but if we do have another 5-wave move to the upside here, it doesn't have to reach this trend line. It doesn't even have to cross this this high point here. It can truncate. So we just need to be aware we could have a little 5-wave move here, which then reverses to the downside. So if that is the case, what we'd be looking for, if I throw that on there for a second, let's grab the other fib tool, and what we'd be looking for here is the potential for looking for a retracement. Like I said, it depends exactly where this 5th wave ends, but if it does come up and test this trend line again, we could be looking for a retracement down into this 50% zone to this 1249 area. So the 1291 to 1249 area. If, however, we don't manage to move back up here, we would need to watch this low point here, because like I said, there is potential that we have extensions within here, and this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're still within a 3rd wave. So that's just something we need to just keep an eye on. If we break these lows, so first off 1240, next this 1218, then basically we wouldn't be looking at this as any more of a potential impulse from this zone. We would need to still cross this 1151 area to eliminate any chance of it, but it becomes less likely based off of the structure that we have that going on. So that's just something that I'm looking out for. If we manage to hold this, make this 5-wave move, then we could be looking at this wave 2. So basically, we could look to maybe come down and retest this zone again, and then look for continuation to the upside. Though we would only really get confirmation of this once this wave 3 gets underway. We would want to find the support in this zone, look for those 5-wave moves to the upside, and then we would have a better target. I can't really get a target off of this at the moment because of the fact that we just don't have enough structure. This wave 2 might not even happen. This could not develop as a diagonal. And what we'd be looking at in that case is that the potential of this, instead of being a diagonal, we could also have this as a 1-2 situation. I don't like it because we've already got a lot of this overlap between these 1-2-1-2 situations. So what we would want to see some upwards momentum kick in. We can see we've dropped down here already to the 0.618 zone. So it'll be interesting to see whether we can hold this. If we drop much below this 1263 area, I would say that this is probably not the case anymore because we're already sort of encroaching towards this wave 1 here. I'd want to start seeing some upward side coming in here. But basically, if we do manage to find support, then we would be looking for, if I just throw this on here, up into this high. If we do manage to find support here at this 618, the target to the upside for an impulse would be 1475. And basically that would then put us into a much bigger third wave. This would all be, if we do move up to this zone, I would say it's very likely that we have confirmation that we are within this third wave, and then we would be looking to target out this higher zone here of 1684 to 1600. But until we get that confirmation, we need to be aware that this could also just break down. And if I switch this over here to what this could be is basically just if I get rid of some of these, so it's just a bit less busy, here we go. So we could also just look at this whole move as a WXY, and technically it could be completed. I would have wanted this Y wave to go a bit higher because it's only just reached the 50%, but I would have wanted it to go sort of towards that 618 area, which takes it just above the line here. But we can argue that we have a potential completed Y wave here. Alternatively, we could have this whole move here as a zigzag, and that's an A, B, and a C into this zone. And what we're doing now is potentially we could look for a drop for this B wave. So we'd have an ABC here. Then we'd be looking for this B wave retracement into this zone of 50% to the 786 area. So that's between 1283 to 1245, and then we'd be looking for progression to the upside. Though what we would need is obviously confirmation of this by breaking back above this high point, but what we could then have is a bigger A, a B, and a C, which would then tie in quite nicely to this being a WXY, and it would take us closer to that 1-to-1 area, which currently sits at, if I just get this on here, up into this high point, get up there. Down into this low point here, we could be looking at moving towards 1484 at a 1-to-1. So this is the potential that we still have some upside in this move. We need to be aware that if this is completed, then we could be looking for that downside potential that we were talking about, and we need to just be careful. There is still a chance this could become a flat correction like this, where we have an ABC, ABC, and then we look for a 5-wave move to the downside as a flat, though we would need to take out these lows for that confirmation. If that was the case, what we would be looking for in this instance is potentially to find support. If I just throw 2 fibs on this quickly, because we want to measure 2 things. So we could look to move to find support at this 1186, to this 1121. What we could also be looking for is if we just measure this up into here. So it would have to go past this 1.618 if we measure it like that. There's two ways of measuring this. If we measure it from this low point, so we could look to potentially target out somewhere in this zone if it is to become an expanding flat. And what that would be is between this 1198 to this 1165. And that would take us sort of between this 50% and the 618, somewhere within there. We could look to potentially target out if it's a ABC to the downside like this, an expanding flat correction. So that's when we take out this high point and we look to break this low point. It could also fall short and be a running flat, but either way, what we'd be looking at here is actually we're still within the X wave. So if it does play out as a flat like this, then we could be looking for this Y wave to complete to the upside from this point here. So that is just something we need to keep an eye out on. If we do manage to find support back above these zones, then we could be looking to upside. But once we start to break below this 1151 and finally this 1075, I would then say that we are looking for that 800 target, that 840, I forget the number now. Basically, we'd be looking for this to continue in a ABC to the downside. And what this would be is looking for the potential that we have a diagonal shape, and we would be looking for this zigzag in this move. All of this would just become all of this would become a B wave, and we would look for the C wave drop. So that should be similar in length to this wave A. That's what tends to happen with zigzags. So if we bring this up into that high point, down into this low point, or for this current zone, a 1-to-1 would be here looking to push us down towards this 86440 area. And that would sort of be my target should we break down below this 1075 area. It could also potentially go deeper, so we just need to bear that in mind. That we could end up going deeper within this move, and this could then become an impulsive structure, but that would only be confirmed by dropping below this 654. Moving below that would then give us a much bigger impulsive structure here, and we would have to reevaluate the count slightly on the macro side. Okay, well, I hope everyone found that video useful, and like I said, thank you once again everybody for subscribing. It really means the world to us. We hope you have a great day, and until we see each other in the next video, keep safe out there.